Zero ends. What's good, everybody? What is good? What is good? Hey, y'all know I had to do this, but this particular content for today, and it has to be discussed. But before I go in, welcome to those that will be listening in the ethers of the Zero Ends channel. I'm Zero Ends here. Like always, you know how to follow and the necessities. Hit that subscribe button, hit the top notification bell for uploads and the live streams on Zero Ends channel. Other social medias have not been created yet. I think I do have a TikTok, but I don't use it much. But I do have it. I probably will post that in the near future, hopefully. But other than that, I think that's what I have right now for people to follow me. What else I have up here? I'm just going through my list. As you know, there is gonna be a series of Pursuit of Happiness and Self-Hatred and Self-Defeating, two particular books that will be a series audio/book analysis. For good reason. I think with the Self-Hatred, Self-Defeating, I think that's going to go more into the psychology and mindset of how people think and interact, particularly Black folks. And The Pursuit of Happiness, that's another good one. That's going to go into the I guess women's choices. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. I didn't know I had this. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I missed that. All right. Well, I'll catch you later. What else I'm trying to think of here? If I'm trying to look through. Oh, and what other thing? Don't be so hesitant. Please leave a comment during every upload or live stream on the Zero Ends channel. I do be going through it periodically to see what's going on. So don't be so hesitant. Leave a comment. There's always something to say about certain episodes, and I'm looking forward to reading it personally. Let me see if I forget anything else on here. I'm just going through. I should create Twitter for this channel. I should. I'm still thinking on it, but we shall see. Let me post it here. All right. Okay, and I'm going through one more thing to see if I missed anything. No, I don't think I missed anything else. So there's a lot of things I'm probably going to discuss. All right, so let's begin anyway. Oh, I forgot. I think I do have an email list for those that want any suggestions or any content, particularly for the Zero Ends channel. To find me and to send your emails is zeroyawa@gmail.com. Shit, let me see. I'm trying to find okay. And let me see. Okay, that's pretty much it. All right, so let's begin, guys. Today's subject is titled Buffalo Mass Shooters Doing Life in Prison. Don't drop the soap. Oh, salute. What's good, bro? It's something we have to discuss because, as you know, the thing that happened to Mr. Payton, Gerald, I think his name, that went up that I think spring or summertime of 2021 or 2022, I believe. I gotta double check the dates when he committed the shooting, but it was not long ago when he did it. He has gotten his sentence roughly yesterday. Yes, yesterday, and looks like the courts have given their decision, and they decide the best pre-course is that he's going to do the remainder of his 19 years of existence, I believe, or 20 years, depending what year he was born, behind bars. And they got it right on the mark with this one. I mean, I can't argue if he should get a more serious sentences, in my opinion. Personally, the reason why, because let's be honest, it was the right call. It is the right call. So, what to do? So now, as you know, we're gonna go into the article at hand about this, and we're gonna look into this rabbit hole. And let me check my notifications. I'm just looking back and forth. All right. Oh, and I gotta put this. Make sure you guys like the stream and comment as well. All right. I forgot to do that. Let me do that now. And please share. As you know, I do my part covering this. I mean, as you know, this is a book reading and news channel mostly. So, be so inclined to share. Okay, let's look at this at hand, shall we? Present. And we're going to look at this. And there is also a video on this as well to let y'all know. And mind you, the video you might see might be somewhat, in my opinion, should have been done more to a lot of our people in regards to when violent acts on reprehensible acts that's done upon us, and that there's no serious consequence, where people feel comfortable of taking life and feel they could walk away like it's nothing. So no further ado, let's look into the article at hand, shall we? All right, there you have it. This is the latest news on CNN. I think there's some articles even including New York Press and stuff. And it's written by Mark Morales and Eric Levinson and other people that's titled with their pictures. Buffalo grocery store mass shooter apologized for race attack and receives sentence of life in prison. Now, before I play the video, we're going to go down the list. CNN, a 19-year-old white man who killed 10 people in a racist mass shooting at a grocery store in a predominantly black area of Buffalo last May, apologized to the victims' families and was sentenced to life imprisonment during an emotional court hearing Wednesday. Now, mind you, he sit there and had to cry and feel emotional because he didn't expect that he was going to do life in prison. Most young people today that want to go on a racist rampage and take the innocent life of non-whites, in their mind, this is what they're thinking and logic. They feel if they, at a certain age, and they do such heinous crimes, that if they were put under the jail or brought into custody, that they will not, in my opinion, this is what they think, because we can't go by other people, so we just gotta go for the logic. In their mind, when they commit this heinous act of violence, that they were going to get like maybe a few years in prison and come out like it's nothing. This is what is alleged the thinking of the normal Western man, particularly not Western women, meaning non-blacks, white people, Caucasian, or any tribal they reside, Italian, Irish, or etc. In their mind, they feel they're far from approach, no matter what age they are, and they feel it's justified to go into other territories, other cities where other people reside that's not white, that didn't go around and take their AR-15s, their shotguns, all types of high-tech or low-tech weapons, and go around and go for a mass shooting spree and take the lives of black folks, particularly black men and black women. And as we see firsthand, that's not the case. So in his mind, he feels that by doing this and justifying his behavior up until yesterday, that he was going to get a big slap in the wrist. I don't think in his mind, I don't think he really concluded that he was going to do life imprisonment or get the death penalty for his actions. And the reason why I say it's because a good portion of them feel that they are far from approach, and I'm repeating myself, but I want you to follow me here, that the system is going to protect them and say, okay, you're young, you're stupid, I think you either know what you're doing or not, we won't tag you, so we'll let this go. No, that's a lie. You get thrown under the bus like every other villain or other criminal that engage in criminality and acts of terrorism. Let's keep going. I'm very sorry for all the pain I forced the victims and their families to suffer, though. I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May the 14th. And this was last year, I believe. Or was it last year? Yeah, last year. Peyton Gendron wearing an orange jumpsuit and shackles, said in court. Now, mind you, he did this the month of May. We are in the month of February, so this is roughly almost 1 year. Because March, April, yeah, 1 year, almost 1 year since he got sentenced. Ain't that something? I did a terrible thing that day. Before we continue, let me do this. One moment, guys. I forgot this. Okay. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did that. I believe what I read online and act out of hate. I know I can't take it back, but I wish I could, and I don't want anyone to be inspired by me and what I did. Well, unfortunately, that's the whole purpose of going out there in front of the environment to engage in acts of terrorism. You, like many young criminals out there, are beyond approach. You feel you're beyond approach. So going out in the streets and doing what you did, you feel that you're going to get a slap in the wrist, which most of them have that thinking, unfortunately. It's not me saying this. This is how they operate and think in regards to them and black people. And I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. It makes sense. Because you look at most people that's in law enforcement, a lot of people that engage in criminality, they watch others and see what rewards and punishment they get before they go out their way and enact the same criminality. So I think he was inspired, like most of them, to do the same thing. And I don't blame him. But let's be honest. Just because one person got away with it, don't think you're going to get away with it. But like I said, we live in a world today that people got to see the consequence before they take action. Allegedly. And that's what happened. That's what happened. So I guess now he's doubling down because he's going to be doing serious time in jail. Let's keep going. And he wished that other people don't do it, but we all know they're going to follow you anyway. The statement came during the state sentencing hearing for Gordon, who pleaded guilty on November to one count of domestic acts of terrorism motivated by hate, 10 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and a weapon possession. Charges for the mass shooting at Top of the Friendly Markets on May the 14th, 2022, which I was right. It was last year. And many people cover this. I think Torian covered this. Black News covered, Street News covers, and many other outlets cover this. Let's keep going. A number of victims' families members spoke emotionally Wednesday about how the mass shooting had changed their lives. At one point, Gendro took off his glasses and began crying during his testimony from the victim's family. At another point, a man in a gray sweatshirt rushed at Gendro in court but was quickly blocked by security, and Gendro was taken out of the courtroom. Yeah. After a short break, Gendro returns to the courtroom, and Erie County Court Judge Susan Egan restarted the hearing. We cannot have that in the courtroom, Egan said. We must conduct ourselves appropriately because we are all better than that. In the end, the judge sentenced Gendron to life in prison on each of the terrorist and murder charge and offered a stern rebuke of him. There is no place for you or your ignorance. Hateful and evil ideologies in a civil society, she said, there can be no mercy for you, no understanding. Oh, hold on. No mercy, understand, no second chances. The damage you have caused is too great, and the people you have hurt are too valuable in this community. We will never see the light of day as a free man ever again. Erie County District Attorney John J. Flynn said after court, the sentence put legal closures of the case, but not on the broader issues. It certainly does not put any closure on what we need to do as a society and a community going forward. Flynn said justice was done with a small J today, but we still have a big J of justice to do. And this is the man at Rush, which I will play the video anyway because I think people need to see this anyway. The man who rushed at Gendra is a son of one of the women who gave a victim impact statement during hearing. She said later. The woman, Barbara Mapps, is the sister of Katrina Massey, a 70-year-old who was killed in the attack. She was given an intense statement when the attack on Gendra happened. I want personally to choke you, Mapps said in court in a loud voice. You little punk a-hole decided to come here to kill black. Yes, of course he's here to come kill your ass. That's what was his whole intentions from the start. But you can't tell black people nothing nowadays. It's funny when we read these articles and I hear black people's ignorance. Why do you think he wasted his time to do what he did? In his manifesto, which I'm not going to read because I'm not going to find that on the internet. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm not going to waste time. This is not the purpose of this stream. That he deliberately wanted to do what he did. He knew he was doing. He knows his intentions, and he's going to suffer the consequence like everybody else. Now, personally, I think he took one for the greater team, which is, his people. When he went and did that, it is what it is. What else? Flynn said the man will not be charged with a crime, explaining he did not want to compound the tragedy. After the sentencing, Mapps said her son rushed at Gendron out of solidarity with her. He wouldn't have went up there if it weren't for me, Mapps said. He saw me emotionally and I'm his mom. We're close. This is way we were brought up. You hurt one of us, you hurt us all. Other families of the victims offer more sober memories of their loved ones and criticism of Gendra's violent actions and hateful ideology. Many of the victims' family members voiced that they wish for Gendra to be sentenced to life in prison rather than the death penalty. So the shooter will have to suffer with his thoughts for the rest of his life. One day, I hope you'll find it in your heart to apologize to those families. Wayne Jones, the son of Chelsea Canny, said in court. And this Wayne Jones, the son of the shooting victim, as you see a picture, very emotional. Hurts my heart, but make sure you guys like this video and you can share it. This ain't no short little stream. I mean, here we do extensive, lengthy content to do more in-depth of analysis. Personally, that's what it is, And it hurts my heart to see that love victims had to go through this, unfortunately. Yeah, this really hurts. But let's keep going. Let me see what's else on this article. I pray to God that they don't kill you, Brian said. Brian Talley, family members of shooting victims Geraldine Talling, you need to be known worldwide. I forgive you, but I forgive you not for your sakes, but for mine's and for this black community. Damn. Come on, guys. Christopher Braddon, who said he was shot in his leg, said he saw dead bodies on the floor as he was lying out of the supermarket to the hospital. He was lying out of the supermarket in the hospital. The vision haunted me every day, Brandon said, adding he continues to suffer from night terrors and post-traumatic stress disorder from the shooting. Oh yes, you're going to suffer and you're not going to sleep well at night as well, because the thought and image that boy left you is just a maze. Hold on. Man, this is very hard going through this article, guys. I mean, I feel for these people. I feel for these people, man. For this bad. All right. Okay. Supermarket to the hospital. The vision haunt me every day, Brandon said, adding he continued to suffer from night terrors, post-traumatic stress disorder from shooting, which I read already. And this is what I will do. Let me put the link. I'll put the link now early. All right. Let's do this. All right, let's continue, guys. And let me lower some windows. All right. Zenita Everhart, whose son Zara Goodman was shot and injured, said her son has survived guiltily. He is dealing with the pain that I am a mother cannot bear. Everhart said on that day, this terrorist made the choice that the value of a black human meant nothing to him. Whatever the sentence is that Gendro received, it will never be enough. Michelle Spick, who said she lost her aunt and her cousin in the shooting, said she hopes Gendro is haunted every day and every night. You came to Buffalo with hatred and anger in your heart, Spite said, also speaking on behalf of her other family members. Speaking after court, several Buffalo officials and families said they did not believe Gendra apology was genuine. Everhart said the gunman should be scared. Now, that might be a statement in itself, that if it's really truthful, because let's be honest, when he did it almost a year ago, he had no I mean, I think he was very proud of what he did last year. And as you know, all the manifestos, the letters or things that he read that gave him the inspiration to do what he did, he's not feeling resent and guilty, in my opinion. That's just me. Now, let's see. Let me read that again. Yes, somebody rushed at Gendra today in the courtroom, but that's the emotion that all these families feel on the inside. Everhart said, I feel like that every single day. We all feel like that every single day. I was happy to see him scared today. He should be able to feel what those families felt that day when he pointed that gun in their faces. That is how he should feel all day, every day. How we got there. Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure no one's in the studio. Okay. No one's there. Okay. On the afternoon of May 14th, Gendron turned the community sources of necessities into a crime scene. Gendron was heavily armed and wore tactical gear, including a tactical helmet and plated armor. Police said at the time he also live streamed his actions using a camera. Now, mind you, when you see this act of terrorism, he actually films and put it up on his social media like it's Grand Theft Auto, like it's what do you call what's those shooting games, first person shooters, Call of Duty or Fortnite or what's that other game called? Damn, I can't remember. All these little first person shooters. That's how it went down that day. So it's like almost like playing a video game to these young men when it comes to really taking real action where they're taking real lives of people. Using a illegal modified semi-automatic rifle, the gunman shot 4 people outside the grocery store, 3 whom dead. He continued the massacre inside the store, fatally shooting an armed security guard and 8 others, 6 of whom didn't survive. The shooting traumatized predominantly black neighborhoods of Mistinf Park on Buffalo East Side. The area was a food desert, and the Tops Friendly Markets was the only supermarket in the neighborhood. Gendra shot a total of 13 people, including 11 black people and 2 white people. Authorities said all the victims killed were black. Of course they're black because in that supermarket it was not much. Some probably escaped when they saw it fired. So we're not sure how many that was in the store, but his target that he took out was a total of 13, only 11 really dead. Prosecutors have argued the horrors that unfold both inside and outside the supermarket was rooted in Gendra's racism towards black people. Evidence includes social media posts and lengthy document written by Gendra, revealing he had planned the attack and visited the supermarket several times prior to the massacre. So he was surveilling and studying the environment before he did what he did. Ain't that something? All right, before I continue reading, wait, how much more I have in this? Let me highlight. Yeah, it's almost done. So let me finish up. Gendra posted he chose the top market as his target because it's a location in the 14208 zip code in Buffalo, which is home to the highest percentage of black people close enough to where he lives in Copeland, New York. In the document, he attributes the internet for most of his beliefs and described himself as a fascist, a white supremacist, and a anti-Semitic. Sound like some Nazi stuff, Nazism. It sound like the shooter charge include the first use of the New York terrorism motive by hate charge since it became available in 2020 under the state laws. This is the first use of the New York terrorist motivation hate charge, but that was enacted now 3 years ago. Imagine that. On the federal level, Gendra faced 10 counts of hate crimes resulting in death, 3 counts of hate crimes involving bodily injury, 10 counts of use of firearms to commit murder during and relative to a violent crime, and 3 counts of use of discharge of firearm during a violent crime, according to the criminal complaint. He has pled not guilty to the federal charges, which carried the potential for the death penalty. So he had to plead not guilty because they won't give him death penalty. But in December, Gendra attorney said during a court hearing he would be willing to plead guilty to a federal charge if prosecutors agreed to remove the death penalty as punishment. So they were going to take him out if he went through this trial, which he did because he pleaded not guilty. And the real sentence he would have got was actually death. So he made some deals with the court. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this video for y'all to see.
Over the years, I've seen.
I don't want to see no stupid ad. Let me go down. That's just dumb. All right.
Down city and decide you don't like black people. Man, you don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhoods and take people out.
There you go.
Let's go.
Anywho, that's the end of this article. All right, as I have my first guest up here, I bring the one only Mary Browner. What's good, Mary?
Yeah, what's up?
What's good? As you know, welcome to the Zero End Show. You heard the article and you see the video if you didn't watch it already. That's what went down. Yes.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even aware that this took place. You know.
It did.
I wasn't even aware. I knew he had got sentenced. I saw a picture of him crying. Now you got the nerve to cry, little motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like ultimately, what you're witnessing, and it's actually hilarious to witness. And I think I'm probably gonna do a show on this in the next couple of days. But you're actually witnessing the slow unraveling of men. Like I think, like all these things. See, what's ironic and funny about all of this is that the behavior or the psychology or the ideology that caused this white boy to do what he did, it all stems out of this whole red pill, anti-woman thing that's prevalent in American society today. See, you see those white dudes acting out because they have to compete for their women now too.
Yeah.
See, this stuff is all about sex, man. All human interaction is based on sex. You see what I'm saying? And when you have males who feel like they can't get the women they want, well, then they'll lash out. Like all of this stuff. And matter of fact, because of that, all of this stuff there's a racial component to it. Like it's all racially motivated. You see what I'm saying? But because power, privilege doesn't rest in anyone's grasp, and it's not a monopoly, but it's in a constant state of flux. It goes all different types of ways. You know, like these things manifest in different ways for different people, different racial and ethnic groups. You see what you see going on now, and this is where you know, white men and black men for the most part would be aligned, is that you're dealing with a group of women who for the most part are liberated. They have, you know, the benefit of individuality and personal autonomy and freedom, as it were. And so because of that, they have the freedom to choose who they're gonna give sex to and who they're not gonna give sex to. And so when you see young boys like that, young men like that, who are living in an environment where, you know, from their vantage point, they've lost status, they've lost sociosexual power, they've lost dominance. Well, then it causes them to lash out. Like this is the same thing that you saw with Dylan Roof. When Dylan Roof went into that church, and this is one of the reasons why I was so critical of Cynthia G and the stuff that she was saying on YouTube. If you look at Dylan Roof went into that church with those black men and black women, and he told them before he began to assassinate them, he told them that you're raping our women. That's what he said. But he wasn't in there shooting black men or black males who was in his same age range, in his age group, and in his dating group, who were basically his peers or his competition, his sexual competition. He was shooting old black men and old black women. You see what I'm saying?
Wow,
So
I didn't think of that.
I think ultimately, yeah, like ultimately, this is the slow unraveling of men in Western society, dealing with the fact that you know, women are going to exercise options. So now white men have to compete for their women. See, black men been having to compete, but what happens, black women, for the most part, have been so stuck on the black man's job. But this is a changing phenomenon in the 21st century. Like I talked about it last night on my show, that for the first time, black women are actually outpacing black men, and when it comes to interracial dating and marrying out and miscegenating, and ultimately, I think it's a good thing. That's what niggas that's what they deserve. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't get to have a monopoly on your woman when you're actually providing the least amount of tangible, quantifiable benefits to your women. You don't get to have a monopoly. You deserve to be in a situation where your grip on your woman is very much tenuous and in a state of flux. From the white male perspective or vantage point, they bought into the myth of white manhood. See, because they really thought, or they really believed, that they built this shit. But if you built it, then why it's not just you over here? Everybody that's over here, you didn't just build this shit by yourself. This was a collaborative effort from various groups of people: women, men, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Like you got different. So for the most part, America is a multiracial, multi-ethnic society, and in our current time, that's even more true. And there's nothing in the foreseeable future saying that phenomenon or that dynamic is changing. It's just going to continue. I think ultimately, at the end of this, white men are going to win and black men are going to lose. But that's our fault that we're going to lose, because I keep saying, niggas stupid. They're stupid and short-sighted. Like this is why I misanalyzed the whole thing with Roe v. Wade, because I didn't think it was going to be overturned, because I felt like, well, if they were going to overturn it, they would have bended it. But the fact that they did do it, it goes to show you that they're looking 200, 300, 400 years down the road. While we as black people can barely look 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road, or 15. You see what I'm saying? So I think in the final analysis, they're probably going to be right back on top, because we know what it is. Like, we're creating new white people. You know what I'm saying? That are going to grow up and practice that same white supremacy that you saw this young dude practice. This is what you have brothers vying and operating to thriving to do, and think they're doing something to black women or the black community. This is all about the unraveling of men. And a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to work on a thumbnail while I got time and thinking about it. And I'm gonna schedule this show for tomorrow. I'm gonna do a show like this is about the unraveling of men. Men are unraveling. You know what I'm saying? And it's hilarious to behold. It's hilarious to behold. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to, because all human interaction is based on sex. Then the white dude got the nerve to sit there and cry. You know what I'm saying? And that whole thing with, you know, rushing them and stuff like that, I can understand, you know, where that person was coming from. But I mean, if you're
Mhm.
gonna do something like that, I mean, the goal is to actually get to the motherfucker, put your hands on him, so you can get at least 1 or 2 good licks on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you got to create a diversion. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying?
Oh
You
yeah.
got to
Oh yeah.
create a distraction, like, you know, like the whole Malcolm X thing. Like, have somebody have, like, I already have it pre-planned. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 people in the audience,
Mhm.
nigga, get your hand out my pocket. Then that draw the attention, and they get into a little scuffle, so the police go over there to restrain them. And while they doing that, then you run over there and tag his ass real quick. You know what I'm saying? Give his
Mhm.
ass a quick 2-piece in the face. Or, you know, if you got a little plastic or wooden shank, you go ahead and stab him in his throat right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Give him something to
Mhm.
remember you by. Stab him in the eye, something like that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But, you know, just doing it off of the, you know, off of that emotional reaction and response, that ain't gonna really get the job done. And I'm gonna tell you, like, you're never gonna see like those types of. They're never going to. They're never going to give harsh penalties for white mass shooters. And the
You're
reason
right.
why is because it's that type of brutality and callousness and cold-heartedness that they know has led to their preeminence on this planet. So they're never gonna over chastise a white mass shooter for that. They would much rather have them being geared towards that than have them being geared towards being weak
Mhm.
and being soft. You know what I'm saying? So you're
Mhm.
never going to see them. You're never going to see them do that, man. Like, over chastise a white mass shooter. Even when he massacres his own people, his own community. Because, to be honest, that's the type of commitment it takes to what the fuck you want or what you believe in.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
white men are more have more faith in white supremacy than black men have in their own security, safety, and uh, preeminence and right to exist as humans on this planet. They believe in that. They believe in their shit more.
Mhm.
They believe
Mhm.
in their shit more, bro. With black men, black people, for the most part, it's rhetoric, it's talk. It's
Mm.
rhetoric, it's talk, man.
Mm.
They're not niggas not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And a few who will do that, they're gonna over chastise a black, like Micah Johnson. How they gonna send that robot in there to blow his ass to kingdom come? You see what I'm saying? They're gonna make an example
Mhm.
out of a black mass shooter because that's a threat to their. That it's all about that killer instinct. Who has the killer instinct and who doesn't?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And whoever has a killer instinct, that's gonna be the one who rules the day. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, everything they do in this society is all about the maintenance of white supremacy and white preeminence. Even as they talk about this whole, you know, being inclusive and stuff like that, you got to realize that that's a ploy to maintain and facilitate white supremacy. Because if
Mm.
you press the people too much, then you give them no recourse but to fight. So
Mhm.
you always give people a way out. You see what I'm saying? And so that's basically what you're seeing with this, you know, the whole push toward equality and, like, you know what I'm saying? That'll never be. But they're going to give you enough to make you complacent and to give you a certain level of appeasement. But the overarching dynamic is still going to be them in the preeminent position.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And the interesting thing about all this, because this happened last year, same
Hmm.
time that another channel covered this, and today the sentencing is almost a year after this. And I said this early in the broadcast, if people listen, that he was compelled that he was going to not only get slapped and wrist, but he was not going to do much time in jail. He know he was going to do some time in jail by going through the whole trial, but he didn't
Hmm.
expect that he was going to do life imprisonment. And as I will read the article for yourself and go back for the playback, it said that he was going to have 2 things: either get the death penalty because they were not going to let him off easy, or something else. So he worked something in a deal in his favor that he'll be around, but he won't be seeing the light of day. ever. So, like I said, a lot of these young youth that are white, they know what they're doing, and they're compelled to, continue doing these acts and send message to all other non-blacks that
Mhm.
you could do the same. I'm doing it. There's other stories on this, and it's just nothing new. What happened? What Dilrup did, that was like only now 8 years ago in June,
Yeah.
and there are many more non-black mass shooters. Next article I'm probably gonna cover now is this one that happened in Michigan. There's one black person. I think he's not a student, which I'm gonna read in a second. But before I get to that, make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream. To put a caveat on this, justice is somewhat served. Now, regardless to the man should have got at him, there should have been more ways he could have did that. But when you're in the heat of moment and you don't plan it out, to say rush. Not like the last dude. I remember there was a video circulating how one dude like took advantage of one of his loved ones sexually and took his life. This guy in the same courtroom in a different state didn't get hands on, but he took nice weapons and plumbered him.
Mhm.
Well, you see, unlike a white boy, they're going. You see, if you look at that video, Mr. Mary Brown, the security was heavily locked down. They got like
Right.
almost 15 officers watching this black man, watching him, keeping the distance, because they know that somebody's gonna get at him. You get me?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
gonna put some hands on his scrawny little butt and saying, "Boy, you never know, you never got your ass whooped ever in life. I'm gonna be the first one to do it, and it's gonna be far worse."
Mm.
Cause you can tell with all these nerdy Caucasoids that be
Mhm.
playing these so-called virtual reality first-person shooters, they never been in a fist fight in their life. I know, 'cause I could tell from look at it, say, "Boy, you never gotten a punch in your face in your life.
Yeah.
Look like you've been sheltered, you know."
Mhm.
So all I have to say is you're gonna drop the soap, my dude, depending where they put you. And they're gonna probably protect you in prison, most likely.
No, ain't no problem about it. They're gonna make sure he's protected. That's what I'm saying. They're not gonna go. They're not gonna be too hard on a white mass shooter, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not, man. And it's because they view that as necessary. They know if it wasn't for that same type of callousness and inhumanity and inhumane treatment, they wouldn't be in a preeminent position that they're in. You see, so and that's what I'm saying. Like this is like it's all about the sexual competition. That's what it's all. That's basically what it's always about, because that's what patriarchy is. Nothing but a mate guard. Patriarchy is the way that men monopolize the sexuality of their women.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? It's a mate guard. That's all it is. That's all patriarchy is at the end of the day. It's a mate. It's the way you control the woman's access to outgroup men. You do it through patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
I think you've been saying this countless times, mate guard. I mean, I don't know if I said it or anybody else might have caught wind of it, that all of it's about sexual access. That's it. That's how males flourish, It's not, it's either violence or sex. It's one or the other. Pick your poison. So when you see non-blacks like this one did what he did, even when Dilrup say you're taking my women, all this nonsense, it tells you who you really have access to. You want to have access to all the vagina, and that's not how to work. You're not getting access to all the vagina. So no matter how many bullets you use, how many ways you put things into law and stuff, it's still going to limit you to the access of the vagina. But you see, they have this certain entitlement, and that's what I want people to understand. When you deal with these other people, they feel in their God-given right that they're entitled to you. That's why they move the way they do. That's our fault as people. No race people should feel entitled to get access to black bodies, personally. But you can't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy. And from what I understand, they gave him life in prison, right?
Yes, they did. Yep. They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I dared like a black person do that, man, nigga. They gonna You ain't even gonna make it. You ain't gonna even make it out of that situation alive.
I know.
They're gonna murk you, and then they're going to say, no, that's not what I want to. They're going to murk you, and then they're just going to say that, oh, the gunman took his own life. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. That's right about that. You know that you won't even see a day in life. They probably will take you out in the prison for all we know. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they roll, man. That's how they roll. So don't play with these people, you know. But like I said, you know, it comes to the end of the day that, you know, people are protected by who's the majority, who runs things. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not the majority or you don't run certain things, you're always gonna be vulnerable to others. It's just that simple. I mean, it's hard to tell Black people especially this, but they gotta learn the hard way. You know,
Right.
regardless, even certain men, either as ignorant they are, they know what it is. I tell them stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Mhm.
But you know, the reason why they want to keep in denial because they think by not talking about and being denial, it's all good. No, it's not. You could be denial all day, every day, but as the environment you're in and how reality hits you in the face every day, you know your position as a man, especially a Black man in this
Right.
country. You're not gonna escape that. I don't care what country you decide to go. You know. So yeah. All right. So next
Yeah.
article, I'm go ahead. You about to say something? Go ahead.
No, I'm listening. You said you got another article?
Yeah, another article is this deal with the thing with Michigan. And at times, you know, this is something that was not going to cover, but since it is aligned with mass shooting, and, you know, might as well tie it all in. So let's screen share again for those.
And he was black.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. But let me read it for myself, see what's going on.
All right.
I didn't cover this, but let's look at it. Where is it? Let me find it. Shit, let me go back. I cancel this. I gotta find where the article's at. Okay, and I think it's in Detroit. So I'm gonna share screen now. Share screen. All right, I should pull up now. Where is Detroit? Oh, here it is. Okay, guys. After Michigan State mass shooting, more questions than answer. And this is the Detroit Free Press. Rose laid at the feet of the Spartan statue of Michigan State University campus Tuesday as the city of East Lansing, the state of nations mourn the victims of yet another mass shooting, and the 670 in the U.S. this year alone. I don't know if that's how many shootings, but let's keep going. This time, blood was shed on the store's banks of the Red Cedar River, where police say Anthony Dwayne McRae, 43, went on a shooting rampage just after 8 p.m. Monday, gunning down students at Berkeley Hall and the MSU Union before taking his own life. God damn. What follows were several hours of terror, as thousands hid in their dorms, rooms covered in libraries, office, and classrooms, while police searched for the gunman. Among those in hiding were students who had survived mass shooting at Oxford High School and in Newington, Connecticut. Okay, only to relieve the horror at MSU. If this is not a wake-up call to do something, I don't know what is. That's a quote from somebody I know who is. The massacre took place on the eve of the 5th anniversary of one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history, which took place in Major Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, spurring renewal calls for the gun control reform. We have children in Michigan who are living through their second school shooting in under a year, and have, said U.S. Rep. Elise Skokin, D. Lansing, whose district includes both the MSU campus and Oxford, where a teen gunman killed 4 classmates and wounded 7 others in November of 2021. That's roughly almost 2 years ago. I am feeling with rage that we have to have another press conference to talk about our children being killed in their schools. If this is not a wake-up call to do something, I don't know what is. McRae, who lived on Langston North End and had no knowing ties to the university, was found dead at 11:35 p.m. Police said from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A tip led authorities that McRae, just 17 minutes after photos taken from a surveillance video were released on social media and to the news media. When the spree of violence was over, 9 people had been shot. The gunman and 3 students, Ariel Anderson, Brian Fraser, and Alexandra Werner, died. 5 others remained in crucial condition as at 6 p.m. Tuesday at Sparrow Hospital, and spokesman John Foran. And there's pictures more. It says here, that's some links. When does it stop? One after another. Anderson auntie can't understand how her niece could be gone. I guess he killed this woman, young black woman. This is so unbelievable. Kamel Spivey told the Free Press, when does it stop? Really? I mean, it's one after the other, described by families as kind, living, caring, compassionate, driven, and very family-oriented. Anderson, 19, of Harper Woods, was a sophomore at MSU who dreamed of one day becoming a pediatrician. So she was born in 2003. Or actually 2004, one of the years. She graduated from Grosse Pointe North High School in 2021. All right, I was right. Yeah, she would turn 20 this year, and was dedicated to helping others. She especially loved spending time with an aunt who had special needs, said her grandmother, April Davis. And she replies, I think she says, I feel lost, Davis said. I feel broken. I'm hurt, but I don't know that she an angel, and I know that God does not make any mistakes. And it looked like these are the other 3 people that died. So it looked like these are people that died under the shooting. His light skin bright with love, leadership, and kindness. Brian Fraser graduated from Grosse Pointe South High School in 2021, and was an athlete who played lacrosse, baseball, and was on the swim and dive team. At MSU, Fraser was a sophomore and was the president of the Phi Delta Theta fraternity. Going down. As a leader of his chapter, Brian was a great friend to his Phi Delta brothers and the Greek community of Michigan State and those interacting with campus and the fraternity, which was posted on Facebook. He also was a member of St. Paul and Lake Cathedral Church and Grosse Pointe Farms, which posted on Facebook. Going down. Next one. The loss really hurts a community like ours. Vernon 20, a Clausen, was a junior at MSU studying forensics. She graduated from Clausen High School in 2020, where she played basketball and was remembered as a phenomenal. Her impact of our district and her impact in our community is so intense and so incredible that the loss really hurt a community like ours, said Billy Shelburne, superintendent of Claus Public School. Going down. How long is this? She was an all-state softball player, the league MVP, basketball, and volleyball. Her senior year of high school, Shelburne said she was also in the National Honor Society and Student Leadership Council, selected as the cultural builder who could set a good example. She was certainly a phenomenal daughter, sister, friend, student, leader, student athlete, who truly walked the walk every day and modeled what high character and integrity and kindness was all about in a world where we're void of that, obviously right now. And another one, shooters had a history of weapon violations. Though authorities continue to investigate what sparkled Monday shooting rampage, Chris Rosman, MSU intern, deputy police chief, and Tuesday we have absolutely no idea what the motive was. What is known is that McRae pleaded guilty to a gun-related charge in 2019 after he was found with a Ruger LCP .380 semi-automatic pistol in his pants pocket and a loaded magazine in the breast pocket, but didn't have a concealed weapon permit according to the records. He was charged with a violation of concealed carry law and possession a loaded weapon in a vehicle. He pleaded guilty to a weapon in a vehicle charge, while prosecutors dropped the second count. According to the court recording, McRae never served time in prison for the offense. He was placed on probation in late 2019 and was successfully discharged. On May 14, 2021, said Chris Galtz, a spokesman for the Michigan Department of Correctional. He lived the last 2 years with his father at the end of a quiet street of older homes in Langston North and neighborhood said. Neighbor Megan Bender told the Free Press she recalled an incident a couple years ago when police were called after McRae fired a gun outside the family home. Brother said Anthony McRae kind of scheduled or seclude himself. It has been 2 years since Michael McKay, 45, of Delaware, spoke to his brother, the accused gunman, in the MSU shooting spree. This just don't seem real that he would be able to be doing anything like this. The older brother told the Free Press on the morning after the violence, I'm still trying to process this whole thing. His brother stayed to himself and they had grown apart over the years. He said Anthony McRae had no children, no spouse, and no friends. His older brother knew of. Michael McRae said his younger brother worked at a warehouse job in Langston. He stayed to himself, Michael McRae said. He kind of secluded himself, definitely a loner. Interesting. Note to McRae, pocket threatened New Jersey school, though about 670 miles separate to East Langston from Ewing, New Jersey, a school district in the East Coast town closed 2 of his school Tuesday because of threats authorities discovered in Anthony McRae's pocket. When McRae was found by police in Michigan, he had a note in his pocket that indicated a threat to 2 Ewing public schools. Ewing police said in a news release, investigations revealed that McRae had a history of mental health issues as investigations continue and out of abundance of caution. The Ewing public schools were closed for the day. Let me see how far down this is. Almost done. After further investigation, it has been determined that the incident is isolated to Michigan and there is no threat to Ewing schools. Information received during our investigation indicate that McRae had not resided in the Ewing area in several years. Whitmer, we cannot keep living like this. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a MSU alumni, called an unseized cadence of mass shooting a unique American problem. We mourn the loss of beautiful souls today and pray for those who are continuing to fight for their lives. She said during a Tuesday news conference, every Spartan student, parents, and staff members should know that Michiganders and Americans everywhere are thinking of you today. We all broken by all too familiar feelings. Another place that is supposed to be about community and togetherness, shattered by bullets and bloodshed. She urged lawmakers to take action to stem the pace of these deadly attacks. Okay. We cannot keep living like this, Whitmer said. Our children are scared to go to school. People feel unsafe in their house or worship of local stores. Too many of us scan rooms for exits when we enter them, and many of us have gone through the grim exercise of figuring out whom our last call would be to last night. A lot of kids of the campus made those calls. They worried for their lives and for their friends, for their fellow Spartans. We must act, and we will, but today, let's hold the MSU and East Langston community close. President Joe Biden calls on Congress on Tuesday to take legislation action to require background checks on gun sales, ban assault weapons, and high capacity magazines and more, which they already did that in the last year. I remember there was an article that wasn't recovered on this channel, but it probably look for that article. Actions and what we owe to those grieving today in Michigan and across America, he said. And it's the press release. Stop sharing that. That's it. Yeah, so a case of mental illness that led to the shooting, most likely. I heard some other people talk about it. I didn't really give much attention, but like I said, these articles tied in to a bigger issue. Now, for those who that's not familiar, and I think I know what the article is, I might do a short stream or whatever on it about certain guns that they ban, or they already plan to ban anyway. But really, truly, when you live in a violent society like America, which is a gun area, military base type, I mean, it would be nice that some people should have no guns, but in the society we live in now, where we're living more of a territorial and what do you call it, tyrannosaurian system, I think people going to have to think that through. But that's just me. I can't tell people how to think, but I tell people this: you don't want to be in any country that we have majority guns, and you give your guns to a system already that's already pushing to really convince you that you're not protecting yourself, so you give it to them. They do the protecting for you. You might think very through about that. I mean, if you think about that boy that killed the people in Buffalo, they say he had thoughts of Nazism, anti-Semitism, all that stuff. Mr. Payton. So I tell people many times what the president that saw what happened in Germany, I think what's the name? Ford. Damn, it slipped my mind. The president back in the 50s. You don't want this in America. See, Germany was a small little country, or where a region is. This is a continent. It's different. And how violent America's already, I want people to really think they're through of how you're going to move in this environment. If you can protect yourself, that would be the best precaution. But because people don't think that their life means nothing and they should not protect themselves. And when I mean protect myself, I'm not saying you should have all weapons and go crazy. No, you should understand your environment and learn the basic skills of things, how you can protect yourself, especially if you don't have no weapon. That's something we could do. But like I said, most of us are very complacent and we want to lead the protection to others. And we see how that turned out, unfortunately. Any thoughts, Amir?
I mean, no, that guy, I saw the story on that guy. He was another one of these guys who stayed in his bedroom all day, socially awkward on a video game. I mean, listen, I'm concerned about this stuff with my sons. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to be caught up in this. Like this stuff is deep, man. And I'm, not to sound distracted, but I was going like setting my show for tomorrow that I'm gonna do on this. But these these are these social, economic, and political changes that none of us are really in control of. The women ain't in control of it either. What you see men wanting to gaslight and blame women for the perils that they face as men that's being caused by other men. That's the ironic part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it's really men who are spearheading all of these changes. You know what I'm saying? It's not women, but men want to blame women. And that's why I don't sympathize with them, because they want to blame women. You see what I'm saying? They want to take it out on these women. You see? So, I mean, you're just going to continue to see stuff like this. These are growing pains. When you grow, it's going to be painful. Growth is painful. And the other thing, too, is that you're seeing men, like I said, the slow unraveling of men, because they're losing privilege over women. Things that have historically been rested in the purview of men, they're losing that privilege to women. I mean, that's just the long and short of it.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Positive Vibes. If you're in the stream, Positive, come up if you want to have your thoughts and opinions. Yeah, man. My thing is this, that they talk about the mental illness and how men don't really take the opportunity to address it. There are ramifications. See, one thing I've learned, and I don't mind people staying home for a reason, but if you're going to sit here and complain and don't get out in your environment and just socially interact, there's consequence for that. And one thing it does is you're not able to connect with people, period. And I think because technology does the make it more less efficient for us to connect face to face, there's consequences. I think they did a lot of research and psychological tests on these things. I remember one time they were
Mhm.
doing tests, especially on a lot of things, even with social media apps, right? And I'm thinking that the thing with the late mentioned back in 2021 or wherever, the one that worked for Facebook, saying they deliberately do things and they study the psychology of people of doing certain acts with their social media platform. So this is something that they study years in advance before the product's out here to see how they can refine it to get you more hooked onto it. Keep that in mind, people.
Mhm.
If you hooked onto something, they done study and figure out the playbook to keep you on there.
Right.
That's how it works. Let me see. Lena, you there?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Hey
Introduce.
guys.
Hey, how you
Hello,
doing?
hello.
Pretty good. Happy
Um,
belated birthday, Amiri. Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
40s.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm getting old, man. I'm an old fogey out here, you know.
Me too.
Mhm.
um, I know I keep peddling this talking point. I know I'm trying to hammer it and I see where it's going. I really feel like you're talking about this systemic, system that we have to fight. I really feel that they use the manosphere and passport bros as a way to garner votes. The Republican Party has infiltrated them, and they were on. Jason Whitlock was pushing the talking points on Fox News. And I really feel
Mhm.
like, okay, we're siding with you. We want your votes. But I feel like you're using this tool and you're trying to use the bargaining as a lever, but what are you gaining? You're not asking for education money. You're just asking for passports in this movement. I didn't understand what was the purpose of pushing this on Fox News. They want to blackmail votes. And that's what they're doing. And they're just using this, but you're not gaining anything from it. They're not they're not pandering or trying to leverage with you or give you something in order for their vote. They're just saying, hey, yeah, there's passport people. Yeah, okay, vote Republican. Am I the only one that sees that? They're playing them.
Well, yeah, it's this is that's what that's what they're banking on. That's what they're hoping on. Like that's the way that the Republican Party is looking to politicize it. And this is just like what I was just saying. But meanwhile, the Republican Party promotes policies that empower corporations to engage in business practices that continue to facilitate the degradation of the male role for the worker class and lower class male. This is what I say. But and what those worker class and lower class males are going to do, they're going to take it out on women, as if women are the ones who are in control of this. They stupid. You know what I'm saying? They stupid,
Yeah.
man. Like women are just adapting to it, and women are adapting to it better than men. And the thing, and now many men feel as though women hold all the power because now women can get with a man on his level economically, educationally, even politically, but there's nothing they can do to get on a woman's level sexually, meaning that women still hold the power in terms of sex because they got the most sought after resource on the planet sitting right there between their legs and they're born with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what you're looking at. Like this is why you see a lot of men complaining about this stuff. And it's not to say that that there isn't some legitimacy to what they're complaining about. My thing is it's not these women's fault. That's about my point. It's not you want to take it out on the woman like a bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? When it's not the woman's fault. What you want the woman to do. You see what I'm saying? She's not supposed to get her education. She's not supposed to work. I mean, yeah, she's not supposed to work. She's supposed to sleep with a nigga who that she don't like. You see what I'm saying? See, so they're mad about all of these things. But the thing is women. What you want the women to do? They're not in control of any of this. What the real problem is you've been identifying with the small group of men who run everything because they're men and you're men, but it's those men who it's those men's activity that's making it hard for you to be able to get with this woman. That's what I'm saying. But instead of dealing with that, you're mad at the woman. You see what I'm saying? It's stupid. Like it's stupid, and that's the whole purpose of identity politics. That's how this is how you get. It's the same way that race works, race thinking works. This is like what you would consider gender thinking. And so if you're one of those men in the powerful positions and you want to get men to defend your powerful position, well then all you do is categorize your behavior that keeps you in your powerful position. You categorize it as masculinity. And so because these other men who you're exercising dominance over I, identifies your dominance over them as masculine, they'll fight for your privileged position, even though it's you in that privileged position that's putting them at a disadvantage with women. They stupid. Saying they don't get it. It's stupid. Like this is why you hear everybody have their like people act like toxic masculinity is such a bad term because they're going off this off the buzzword of masculinity because they don't understand what it means. You know what I'm saying? That it's not masculinity that's toxic. It's the absence of masculinity. But whose definition of masculinity are you going by? You see what I'm saying? If you want to talk about toxic masculinity, well, imperialism is toxic masculinity. Slavery is toxic masculinity. Colonialism, neo-colonialism is toxic masculinity. Like, you see what I'm saying? But you know, because they're identifying with that term masculinity, these men will fight for what you're doing because you categorize that what you're doing as masculine. That's it. That's how it works. It's a mind game.
Yeah, and hold on. And another thing, man, to understand, like Amir says earlier, and to give you a recap, because you just came to the stream. Early part of the stream, I did talk about Peyton Gordon that killed the Buffalo shooter. Do you remember that, Lena?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sentenced to life imprisonment yesterday.
Oh wow.
And the video that I played, which is making his rounds, one of the mother's sons tried to get at him. And you know,
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. I think I did see that.
yeah. So it lets you know that this was not really discussed because it was kept quiet. Because everybody knew that he was going to get sentenced, but they didn't think how much time he was going to do. And obviously, there was only two options: you do death penalty, or they put you permanently under the cell, which that's what they prefer to do. You know, so that's his punishment. And real true, he should get death penalty. But you know how white people will protect their heroes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so and the woman sentenced him too. So when he rushed out and they took a recess, they said we will not be having this in this courtroom. I bet you wouldn't, because he is like your son. And it said, "Bad, Tinny. You shouldn't do that, Tinny. Bad. Don't go out there and shoot these poor folks." And mind you, he planned this out from the start. He surveillance the place, so it's not like he has any forgiveness and feels sorry. He deliberately know what he was doing and did it deliberately. You get me?
Right.
Yeah, so all that crying, all that garbage, I said, listen, he's not serious.
Yeah, he had time to turn away. That wasn't no rash or I had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, that's not, man. That's just all. That's crazy.
No remorse, cold blood. My thing is though, I wonder if he was black. How he would have been sentenced so much faster, quicker. Oh, they would have made a big scene about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, they probably will make somewhat of a scene with this with Michigan, but not really much because let's be honest, the victim he killed were three people: one black, two white, one white male, one white female. It's still something to talk about, but it's not something that they want circulating. You get me?
Right.
Because they don't want to get the ideals, regardless of what this man was going through. Because you gotta understand, when a black man does go out there and takes lives of others, depending who the lives he take out of, they like to keep that silent. You get me? I didn't know about Michael Johnson until someone had to show that, talked about throughout the internet. It was not none of us would hear about it personally, because they want folks to get any ideals when it comes to black male shooters. That's how it works. Because if you psychologically in a not right state of mind and you do things like that, it's always wise to keep that on the low as possible. You know,
Mhm.
remember
I wonder-
when they kill black folks, they got always broadcast it because they got to keep the fear going, keep you in your place,
That's
keep
true.
you in your place.
I
You do
wonder.
it.
I forgot. Did you talk about this prior to? I think you had, but I seen like the documentary. I want to say it was on Lifetime, like a little while, like recently, no more than a month ago. They was
Mhm.
talking about the DC sniper, and
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
he used the red pill talking point to train that kid. I feel like that's exactly what they're doing, teaching the younger generation red pill. These men are mentoring. I'm like about dating. I'm like, where are you with education and housing? Why aren't you mentoring like this versus mentoring them about yes, the system is the woman. He literally sound like red pill content and he did all of that. He was killing those people so he can kill his ex-wife, so they wouldn't look for him. Think, oh, okay, she was just a victim of this serial killer. That's why he was
You
doing it.
talking about DC Sniper?
Right?
But
Yeah, he used the red pill. He used that talking point of the Matrix on that kid in order to do. I was like, this literally
Yeah,
sounds like the Manosphere.
yeah.
Well,
You don't. I did a show on that, Lena.
yeah,
You did?
yeah. Of course
Yeah, I
he
did. You ain't never
I
seen
mean,
it?
not be paying attention.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I think
I-
I've been
yeah,
trying to watch everyone.
yeah, he covered that shit. But let's go move forward to this. Anytime when a man or any person is trying to, I guess, string along or use and get young people onto their side, is always another form of income source. You get me? Because how you
Uh-huh.
gonna have an audience? And it implies nothing, but any woman doing the same thing to snag you in, they gotta find a way to get in your mind about how the world is not your fault. You must blame
Uh-huh.
others. That's a formula to snag a lot of waver minds to jump on your side. That's how it works. And you gotta
That's
think
true.
about most majority of young kids today, there's no actual father presence, personally. So if they
Uh-huh.
get in their knowledge or try to escape, they turn to the internet, which is the greater influence. That's why, as parents, you have to be very disciplined. And if your children gonna entertain the internet, regardless you put in parameters, you gotta sit there and talk to them. Have that connection right now. You get me? Because there are other
Uh-huh.
forces trying to indoctrinate your children unrighteously to follow their doctrine, whether it's a man or woman. You get me?
Uh-huh.
That's why people don't understand when you're on internet, and I'm not gonna call content creators names because you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. From both the male side and the female side. This is a very powerful tool. If you have an influence and you are influence people, you have it by thousands. You always keep in
Uh-huh.
back of mind, a good small percent are gonna be occult followers to you. Anything you say will be merit gospel. Period.
Uh-huh.
You gotta take responsibility for every action, every word you said. Period. And I say men and women because not only men get fall for this, but a lot of women are also in this direction too. A lot of ladies and men too.
Uh-huh.
So this is not like a specific gender. Anyone else
Uh-huh.
that's on here, content or even put out a message, you always gotta keep in mind what is your real gear intentions when you put these things on the ether. You think you're not involved and you're not put the blame. You are, especially when you dictate people what they should be doing. You get me?
You'd be
Uh-huh.
surprised how impressionable people are. But Lena, look in the private chat. I put a link to that show I did on John Allen Muhammad and the Black Manosphere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta watch it again, Lynn, because he did that a few months ago. If you didn't watch it, you gotta go watch it again. Yeah, that was covered.
That was that was a few months back.
Months back. But the purpose is, like I said, as any influencer, and there are a lot of people that are influenced and do it real right. They don't think that what they said has consequence. Yeah, I hear some even double down on certain things they say, and people are following. And truly, they do this to cover their ass, Lena. And to me,
Uh-huh.
I'm a call bullshit because you know the power of social influence and social media and things what you said and you have a fall. You should be even greater mindful what you fucking say. That should be your
That's true.
responsibility. Period. If you got more than 30, let's say 50 or 100K people that might be a range of dependent racial backgrounds, white or black, You know you got the heart to mind because you have gravitated and got an audience that's in the thousands. Some of them that has
Sure.
small channel, let's say Amiri or Zero Ends or any other channel, that's not even over 25,000. You know how powerful that is? When you have something larger than 10 to 20K. And we look at the population, people dependent if it's here in America or globally, you always got to look at it and say who you influencing once you have over 20 or more thousand people on your page.
That's true.
You're not small. You're miniature small, but you're not a small person.
Mm-hmm.
When you get small is under, to me, under 10,000. Once you get 10,000, you're just in the beginning stage. Once you get 25,000, now you are in the starting stage, real starting stage. So everything you do, your words, how you move, is very crucial because every action you take, there is going to be obviously a reaction to someone that watches your stuff or influence, period. So always when you see somebody that has 25 more subscribers on any platform
Mm-hmm.
and they have more likes, you always got to keep in mind, what are they saying that's gravitating these people on their junk? Because now that's influence people. It's not something that's positive, something they can learn or take for growth on the average. It's always on nonsense and foolishness.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
it's on relationship issues mostly, and other things are goofy stuff. Go ahead.
Right. It's toxic because they'll tell you, okay, lead a community and they'll let us burn. They'll let the black community burn. But when they need us, oh, we need you to march like that one kid, what's his name, Kyrie or whatever. Oh, but he talked all that mess about black women, but now you need the black community. And the same for that other guy, like they'll let us burn. But
Yeah.
when they need us, they can run right back to the black community. They'll talk crap. Oh, the black community is this and this and this, but you need us.
Well, they can't run back because they're gone. You get me? There's no going
Yeah.
back once you're actually gone from this earth. Allegedly.
Right.
In the physical life, besides spiritual, that's another story. That there's no running back. So for those people that really say support and all stuff, let's be honest. We as people, we don't really take proper action when there's certain acts of violence toward each other properly to get actual justice where there is an exact change overall. You get me? Personally. Any organization that's established that said their best interest of black people, when you look at their track record personally, they're not really interested at all. And we're not going to call it the organization because that's a waste of time now. The point is this: they need the corruption and nonsense and violence continue in our communities because they benefit. The more you are put your energy into certain things like this without no actual correction, someone's profiting, and that's where they want it. If it's not profit, they don't mess with it, leave it alone. Period. So with black violence, black degeneracy is money-making thing at the end of the day. And we all know in the capitalist system, they're not in the business of cutting off the money supply. If I can't make money off, I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
Period.
I
You get
feel
me?
that way. You going in another direction.
Yeah.
Oh, chaos. Because I feel that way about Pearly Things and Andrew Tate and Destiny. They can't run that in their communities. You see, they got deplatformed. So in order to make money, they came over here and they pushed all that negative, toxic rhetoric over in the black community, and they're making money off of it. I don't understand why they don't see this sometimes as a grift. Like that they can't do it in their community, but they come over here. You see how toxic it is. You see they deplat. You see that they don't talk about their women or their community. They don't say, "Oh, I'm divesting." They see stuff. They'll say, "Oh, modern world stuff is going on over there," but they don't say divest from their community. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like all that rhetoric, even in divestors, all of it, they'll drag us, regular black people, and the community instead of helping us. And you see other people, let's say, they passport, let's go to another, they don't drag their own community. They know it's toxic. They're like, well, I'm not going to perpetuate it, but black people will for profit.
Yeah, because remember, white is right. White is purity. They cannot push degeneracy throughout the media as a whole. It's there. Don't trust me. It's not like you can't see. It's there, but it's not somewhere it's constantly a push like they do over here in our side of the communities, personally. Because like I said, they profited, but they don't want people knowing their business like that. They gotta keep pushing white purity, whiteness is right, all this stuff, and they push that in a way that everybody could see it. We have a different psychology and view of them. So what's the best way to not really think of that? They don't promote it, they don't push like that as a whole. They'll push everybody else's agenda before they push their own. That's how it works. Because remember, it's a psychological game, psychological war they play. Period. You get me? If you see, cause think about it, when they hear about non-blacks, in their mind they think of purity, this, that, the third. They don't think these people do wrong because we go for their institutions, we watch their animation, all that stuff, and we don't see nothing wrong because we see this as the highest form of civilization for them. But when they portray us, we look at it as the form of evil, the devil, degeneracy. So we look at it as bad and demonize it automatically. That's why you see a lot of, especially black males, have a certain look around the people about the community. That's just because not only they don't get accepted from what they say, but black is bad, black is evil. That's a learned behavior.
Yes, I believe that's true.
That's a learned behavior. Because you just don't come out the womb to say I hate black. No, you have to be trained in the system to hate each other. And it's our role as people to really push back the psychological damage, unfortunately. Because they're not gonna do it. Because they do it, how long you think they're gonna continue to capitalize? It won't last long. You get me? When you're self-hatred, you do everything in your way to fix that. Even go as far as fixing your genetics, your skin, and even go as far as throw your money to others and stop supporting in your own group.
I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I think
go ahead, say your
like what Howard Miriam was saying. I know he was saying like a stream not that long ago is not gonna last like this past poor bro and Manosphere is gonna last because I really because they're attaching too many negative things to it. Like you have Ash, what's his name? Antoine, he got ran out of Brazil.
We know names. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
My thing is this, because I want y'all closing thoughts have this, is this. Wherever they are in the position now as a so-called online organization, wherever you want to call them, it was never supposed to last because they have no structure. If you look at one of them, that it's not the father or founder, he's already having his issue with the space that how other men are plotting to get rid of him because it's less competition. So even niggas are competing with each other in a small space that they don't run. End of story. I ain't gonna say names, but you'll know. And probably
I know he's talking with a few of them.
Yeah. So really, with anything that said that's lasting, we all know if you're not structured and making this as something than what it is, than just getting noticed throughout the press, you're bound to it's gonna crumble. It's already crumbling already. Because what other move steps you doing? I wait. Nothing. So if you're not doing nothing, you don't get nothing in result. You start where you remain and where you begin. And most black males today that say they create something, they talk about one thing, it's always a money grab. Once the money's dry up, they're gonna find another hustle. So always, if you never think about this, Lena, know this. Always think of the next big hustle. That would give you an answer of where the next person is gonna think and move. That's how you got to think about it. Not thinking that, of course, everything you know of what another man does or what he says, formula, what he's creating for a reason to gain, is all going to be answered. But understand where the money's going and where the intention is really going to be following. Any closing remarks?
No, I said what I had to say.
All right, good.
You should go with your "Make Black America Great" or "Die Trying." I feel it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Make Black America Great or Die Trying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be nice. All right, guys. I'm a little read down. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to today's stream. Please leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. This was a lengthy one, but it is what it is. Please, as you watch it, there is some sections I split off between the two articles. I would like to hear from your thoughts on this. Looking forward to it. And till next time, take care.